Best supers, best ultimate, that's all well and good, but who just uses one attack? Outside of the typical experience of playing online, that is. So with that in mind, let's look at just the best movesets. And by that, I mainly mean the best supers and ultimates. The rest of the moves are important, but these are the flashiest and most fun parts. Which means having the best ultimate in the game doesn't mean that you will show up here, as their supers could drag them down, or vice versa. And speaking of lists, I do not remember who I put on any of the lists I made for this game. Now I could go back and watch them to remind myself, but I think I'd rather just come up with new stuff. So if I disagree with myself from over 10 years ago, yeah, I probably will. Anyway, on with the list.
It's over.
Starting with an unexpected character. While the moves are basic, there are some things that stand out that allow him to be here. First, yeah, he does have a varied moveset. While throwing a fork at someone isn't very exciting, it's a rather funny thing to do. Fighting Frieza and just throwing a big sharp fork at him is funny. Which then carries over to his Russ, where it just stabs instead of throws. So, high score on the funny scale. But no, the real reason he's here is the ultimate. And while it does look fairly cool, the real reason is just how fun it is to use, since it does damage based on how evil someone is. Yeah, blurring the lines on bringing in gameplay here, but since it's so flavorful on lore, I'll make an exception for this. As soon as you find out the damage changes depending on how evil the character is, you just want to know, how evil is every character then? I mean, this guy can measure it and then output a number. We have a scientific way to test evil in a person, and I must know. You can even trace Vegeta's character growth with this guy. I wish we had more moves that would work like this, but pretty much every attack in Dragon Ball is non-elemental, sadly. Although, that does make this one stand out.
You, a match for me? Out of my way! Ha! Die!
This is one of the more fun movesets for me, in that it has basically two of the rarest attacks for his supers. Not only that, but both more or less target an area rather than the direct target. So you end up with Nappa just blowing up the whole area just to deal with one person. That just makes it one of the better movesets. I mean, does he need to use a move that blows up a city to hit one person? Does he need to blow a big hole across the entire arena just to hit one person? No, but he does it anyway. The first Cabbage took the phrase, "There's no kill like overkill to heart," and just ran with it. Would having a one-handed blast that killed Piccolo make for a more sensible inclusion here? Yes. Yes, it would. But the fact they ignored logic and just went for flashy is why I can respect it. And while these moves are more or less generic, they are rare enough that you don't see them often enough for them to really earn that title. Plus, Nappa was the one who introduced these attacks to the series in the first place. The ultimate is very similar in that way. Sure, a mouth blast isn't anything special, but there aren't many of them either. Rare moves can sometimes be enough to carry you to greatness.
I'm Nappa! There's no way you could beat me! It's over! There's nothing you can do.
And a good ultimate can take you a long way. And the reason he's here instead of Turles is that his ultimate is better. They are both very similar in what their movesets do, so I had to pick one. And yeah, there isn't much more to add on about his ultimate. Let's just watch it again though.
There's nothing you can do.
so good. What I do want to talk about here are his supers, one of which is a super explosive wave. Now I'm sure people have the idea I don't like super explosive wave as a move, but that isn't true. What I don't like is how they just put it on people seemingly randomly, and then it's watered down as a generic lazy move. There just aren't many well done super explosive waves, but here, look at it. We got little mini explosions going off in it. Sure, it might not make much sense, but it looks good, and that's the real key. You can have moves that might not be the most exciting things ever, but give it a good presentation, and then it is good. Like how many good red Ki blasts look, for example. So yeah, without his ultimate he probably wouldn't be here, but it does go to show that even basic moves can still be great given the right traits.
Hey, I was hoping for someone a little more responsive. I'll show you hell!
And speaking of good ultimates helping someone out, it's just good to see it with a proper ending again. As for the supers, this time we have examples of two things that I want to highlight. First, one-handed beams are always better. They just have so much more flair. Not to mention it really helps them stand out against the backdrops of all the Kamehamehas. The second, that big explosion attack is as flashy as the fireworks people keep setting off outside my window at 2 AM. We get it, you want to make big explosions in the middle of the night, but some of us need sleep. Wait, where was I again? Oh right, flashy explosions. Sure, the move is one of the easiest things to dodge ever, but just look at it. Also, as a bonus point, it has also done one-handed. Actually, looking at it, Frieza can do his whole moveset with only one arm. I think that was supposed to be future Gohan's thing, and here I thought he only stole from Krillin. Regardless of move theft, this is the best Frieza in the game moveset-wise, so it's a good thing it's good.
I didn't even have a chance to warm up.
Super Ghost Kamikaze attack! Go get him, Ghost!
I mean, if you want unique, this is unique. Give two kids way too much power and time to think of crazy moves, and you'll get some crazy moves. I mean, Big Tree Cannon? Now there is a name for an attack. Sure, Goldo can throw a tree all he wants, but that's just throwing it. The real damage comes from launching it out of a cannon, and making sure it's a big tree as well. Victory cannons aside, the real meat and potatoes that got him here are donuts. This is one of those attacks that really makes you question exactly how Ki works though. So, in a beam, it's pure destruction blowing up anything that gets in its way, then you have attacks like this where it can restrain someone. Probably best not to think about it. What should be focused on here is the restraint attack is something rather unique. Not as unique as using Ki to form ghosts that can blow stuff up though. Skipping thinking about how that works, it's a load of fun. Nothing you can really take seriously, but a good reminder of one of the things that's so important about Dragon Ball, the humor. Don't take anything in this series too seriously, or it'll blow up in your face. Also, thank you for reminding everyone about that fact, Gotenks.
Does this mean you're finished? Jeez, how disappointing.
Here it comes! Go!
Just simple Goku with no extra bells or whistles. I mean, aside from turning red. Kamehameha is there, of course. Even with this many Gokus in the game, he still really only has one super that changes between all of them. You see, it was never a Sparking Zero problem. It's been this way ever since BT1. And we don't need to talk about that game in terms of moves. Ever. He did get a fancy new Kaioken attack though, and one that's much better. Oh sure, the pose Goku has on the other one is certainly striking, but this is just a more interesting attack. Kinda weird that it changes again 16 years later. Could they really not figure out what series of punches Goku should do while in Kaioken for the Saiyan Saga? To top it all off, he has the best, or second best, one of the best spirit bombs in the game. Sure, it's small, but it sends people back to their home where they are needed. Just a nice little extra flair that sets it apart from pretty much every other attack in general.
You sure talk tough, but you could use more training.
Take this! Big Bang Attack!
His moveset is the pinnacle of all his moves are just solid. None of them are really some of the best in the game, but they all feel really good to use. While Maximum Flasher looks way better as a white beam in later games, it's still such a good looking beam. The pose and one-handed firing animation makes it one of the most solid beams that's just a beam. Then the rush. It has nice power to it, some camera angles that help make it more dynamic, and a very satisfying finish. While it has no big boom at the end, the whole package is just solid. The ultimate being Big Bang is exactly what you would want him to have as well. While nothing about him stands out on its own, the complete package here is going, yeah, this is a really good Super Saiyan Vegeta moveset, and that's why it's one of the best.
So that was your best, huh?
Burning attack! See if you can take this!
You're finished!
Once and for all!
We have arrived at the characters who not only have solid movesets, but some of the better moves in the game. You just know he was waiting until he was back in his own time to use that ultimate too. He needed to make sure that Vegeta couldn't see everything he was going to do to top him on this list. You need to make sure that when you do surpass your parents, you do it in a way where they can keep their pride. Past all of that though, he has a unique Trunks Blast followed by a really good rush, one that I know I put on my list of the best because it's the thumbnail. The ultimate, I have no idea what me from years ago thought, but the me of now thinks it's a really good one. One of my favorite things about it though is how they just flop behind Trunks unceremoniously if it doesn't kill them. Or sure, the attack itself is cool and all that, but making them flop around like a fish is just a level of indignity that will always bring a smile to my face.
I will protect the future!
You're mine!
Oh, we're really up here now, and we've got a damn good one. Oh sure, you can claim that his supers aren't that special, I mean an orb and some fire. On the other hand, have you seen them? The color and flavor of attacks is super important, and here we have some really great examples of that in action. Sure, his first is just another blast, but the other ones aren't red and black. Then we have the Fire Breath. Something a good breath weapon is all you need. There's just something about using fire as an attack that's satisfying across so many games and genres. So many problems can be solved using fire. And hey, it's another attack you can give Scouter Vegeta. And since it's nice to see more of the demon side of the moves and not everything being a key attack, which brings us to the ultimate, which is always a treat. It doesn't really change much between games, but how could it really? I mean, sword attack with a little flourish in there to earn some style points, then stopping on a dime just before the blast someone point blank is also great. It really hits all the points a demon should, style and brutality flowing out of the whole thing. So the question then is, what tops that? But before we get there...
Did you really think you could beat me? Kamehameha! Try this! Here it comes! Go!
Overall, he's got one of the best movesets in the game. He would very easily be on this list if it wasn't for one thing. His best attack makes no sense for this Goku to have. For that matter, no Goku in this game should have it. And not only this game, but pretty much every game. I know the final part of Dragon Ball is in a weird state for games. Is it still Dragon Ball or has it moved on to Z? I mean, the obvious answer is the end of Dragon Ball since Z starts with Raditz, but I guess the lack of the tiny Goku makes it weird? Just give us a World Tournament Goku already, however it works best for whatever system the game uses. Okay, rant over. Time to see who's number one.
I'll get you 5 seconds. Kamehameha times 10! No use! Take this! I got you!
When people want GT in games, it's for one reason. They want the Super Saiyan 4s because look at this moveset. Who cares what GT is actually like to watch if this is what you get for games from it? First of all, the Kamehameha is red. You can tell me that it wasn't always red, but the bottom line here is that the red version is more unique and visually striking. The fun part about games is you're able to pick and choose moments for a character and put them all together into like a best hits version of them. So if you have the choice between a red Kamehameha that's unique for the ×10 version, or just having it be blue and blend in with all the other versions that Goku has, it's safe to pick the red one. Also, there aren't enough red beams in general, so double win. The Rush is a beatdown. A good beatdown. A beatdown that's very thorough and has a good ending, but there isn't enough to highlight here. Other than that, it's just being a wonderful example of how rushes should be. The ultimate, though, that's a good one. We have another example of making an opponent flop to the ground, only this time, that's just the middle of it instead of the end. The next time the faux floppy fish gets served up for a dragon to nom on. The attack is so good that it gets held back by hardware. It's good while not having the shot of the whole dragon around the stage. Say what you will about GT as a series, but when it comes to movesets, it's hard to beat.
Right now, there's nothing I can't do.